Let's look at the post-processing phase, also known as activities after migration. So we are in the last of our migration phase. We have finished project preparation, installation, customizing, data migration, and now we are in the post-processing phase, also known as activities after migration. It's mainly about checking the migrated data and do some adjustments and necessary configs. The next step after doing data processing is to do the activities after migration. You can find this sub-menu under the Simple Finance add-on main menu. Under this we have a host of activities. The main activities consist of transfer of application indexes, filling out the due dates, and filling out the outstanding accounts. These four activities are relevant to filling out the BSEC tables. This should only be performed after you finish all the data migration activities and it has been set as completed. The first activity for the activities after migration is the transfer of the application indexes. So you transfer the application index to the database cold area, which means it won't be accessed very often, in order to reduce the main memory consumption, because SAP HANA runs off the random access memory, which is your RAMs. So to reduce the main memory consumption, you transfer the application indexes to the cold area, because you do not often use the application index. Application index is actually a copy of the database with a few fields. So execute this transaction. It will bring you back to the familiar screen. Enter the number of batch jobs and execute that, and you get a message saying the execution has been scheduled, and you can see the status, that is display status, and you can see the status has been finished. And you can see the message has been given for GL, AP and AR. Previously the index tables were BSID, BSIK, BSIS and so on, BSAS, BSAK, BSAD. But going forward, these are all have been redundant tables and everything has been migrated to Actoka. So any of the index tables have now been transferred to the database cold area. The next step is to fill the due dates in the FI documents. After the data has been migrated to Simple Finance, for certain due dates for customers, vendors and GL accounts which have a baseline date, you need to fill in the due dates. These due dates are for the discount 1, discount 2 or any additional net due dates. This can only be performed if the line item has actually a baseline date. Now you know baseline date can be calculated from the document date, the posting date or the entry date. Then if the baseline date exists, then you need to fill in the due dates for these fields. It's better that you run this activity after office hours, because it has to go through many hundreds of thousands of line items, if not millions of line items, and fill in the necessary due dates. So the SAP recommended approach is to run during downtime or after office hours. So once you execute this transaction, come back to the familiar screen, enter the number of batch jobs, execute the transaction. It will give a message saying it has been scheduled for immediate execution. Then you can go to the display the status transaction, and you can see net due date and discount due dates. The transactions have been completed, finished, with a green box over here. The next transaction is to fill the offsetting account in the FI documents. So you must be familiar with the FI line item documents. For example, if you are running a line item report for GL line items against the necessary expense accounts, you might see the offsetting account numbers and